probably know by now, the new Analogue Mega SG is finally out, and people have a lot to say about it. I already made a video covering this back when it was announced, so if you want some basic facts about the system, I recommend checking that out. However, this video will be about me actually using this system and my first impressions. If you don't already know, analog systems like this or the Super NT are cool because it is not emulation. So for example, the Retron 5 is emulation based, and that's why you experience some lag when using it. But because this is FPGA, it basically means they are copying the original hardware, so it's not emulation. So besides zero lag, you can also use stuff like the EverDrive, which is pretty cool. Another important thing to point out is that this is a quality and easy way to play your Genesis and Master System games in 1080p through HDMI. Because of this, I really wish I had this thing 2 years ago when I didn't have the setup that I have now. I probably would have done a lot more Genesis and Master System games early on if I did. Much like the Super NT, it has a very cute and compact sleek design and feels like a quality piece of hardware. As you can see, it is a lot smaller than the original Sega Genesis. In fact, it's pretty much the same size as the Super NT. This is cool because you can easily have both of these things sitting next to each other in a small space. The front has a headphone jack and 2 controller ports, while the back has the HDMI out and a micro USB power slot. This side has a slot for an SD card so you can do things like update the firmware, which I have a feeling you'll be doing a lot with this thing. As of right now, I think there's already been like 2 or 3 firmware updates. And of course, the other side has a slot for you to connect your Sega CD. If you decide to do this, it comes with a little mouse pad looking thing that will raise it up and grip the console so it doesn't move around. And if you don't have a Sega CD, hey, use it as a cute little mouse pad. As I mentioned in my previous Mega SG video, you can choose from a variety of designs and you can choose between different 8-bit DOE controllers. I didn't bother with buying the controller because I just want to plug in an actual Genesis or Master System controller to use, or this one from Retrobit. I'm not big on wireless. So when it comes to actually turning it on, the first thing I'm going to talk about is actually kind of a minor complaint. When I used it for the first time, I noticed you had to press the power button just right, and when it comes to turning it off, you need to hold it down for a while. What's kind of annoying about this is that it's super easy not to take your finger off the button in time, so you may accidentally turn it on again. Or maybe that's just a me problem. Once the console is on, you see Analogue's iconic startup screen featuring their logo, much like the Super NT. From there, you have your choice of running a cartridge, playing a pre-installed game, and messing around with tools and settings. You can add different types of scan lines, mess with the audio settings, the width, the height, etc. Personally, I never really feel the need to change things, and I'm not a big fan of added scan lines, but the options are there if you want them. The pre-installed game is actually what I messed around with first. Ultra Score comes loaded on the Mega SG, and it's a pretty cool fast-paced run and gun. So you can shoot any which way, which is pretty sweet. Just freaking chaos. The company that made it, Digital Illusions, started working on this back in 1994 for Amiga and Genesis, and despite it being 99% done, it was never released. Since Analogue takes pride in saving games, like they did with Super Turrican on the Super NT, they decided to include this on the console, which I think is a cool little bonus, and it's actually a pretty fun game. So I tried out a number of games on stream the other day, and they do look and sound great. I still prefer using my Model 2 and PVM, but this is pretty cool too. Shit, I'm gonna die, aren't I? Yes! I don't understand what we do. So now let's move on to the Master System adapter. The Master System adapter comes along with your Mega SG, but there are a few things you may want to know before you use it. Maybe I'm just dumb, but I ran into a few problems when using this for the first time on stream. Make sure that the adapter is facing the right way before putting it in the console. I ended up inserting the adapter and the cartridge incorrectly, so at first I didn't understand why it wasn't working for me. On the side that says Analogue MS Adapter 1.0, in super tiny white font under that it says front. So don't be like me and totally miss that. Make sure it's facing you when you put it in along with the cartridge. Other than that, it worked great. Now what I'm really excited about is all of the adapters they will be releasing later this year. They will be releasing adapters for the Mark III, Game Gear, Sega MyCard, SG-1000, and SC-3000. No other companies are doing anything like this right now, so it's really great to know that this is coming. It's kind of like the Mega SG is the gift that keeps on giving. And I know I've said this before, but we really are getting to the point in time where we need to think about preserving games and hardware. That's why even though I prefer to use original carts and hardware, these systems won't last forever. But luckily we are now starting to see things like the Mega SG and Super NT pop up to help keep retro gaming alive. Did any of you pick up the Mega SG? If so, let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.